everyone, and welcome to another show, Travel, Cook, Eat. So happy to be here with our lovely viewers. Thank you firstly for everyone who joined us for our launch show last month. We had a lot of lovely comments from people, and very much looking forward to bringing you today's exciting destination. So my name is Harry Padden. I'm one of the co-founders of Travel, Cook, Eat, and your show host for today. And we have a very exciting and very unusual destination today. We are off to the wonderful city of Malacca. And joining me today will be some wonderful friends, travel and food friends from Malacca itself, who are going to be showing you the best of what Malacca has. So I'd like to, first of all, invite Norman to the show, because I can't do this without him. So Norman, are you there?
I'm here. Hello, welcome everyone. Harry, just a quick sound check, because your voice is a bit crackling, so we need to kind of adjust that. Don't worry about it. You can worry about it later anyway. Yeah. So things like this happen, but we want to make sure we give the best show for our audience viewers today. Okay, great. So so I hope everyone's looking forward, because I can see a comment from Ruth Hansen say that she's done all the prep. Yeah, so I'm all excited about this, because we're going to Malacca.
Woohoo! Exciting. So coming up, we've got a tour guide around Malacca. We are going to be showing our viewers the best place to stay in Malacca. I'm so excited for this bit.
Yep.
And we will be featuring one of Malacca's most famous restaurants. And Norman, what are you cooking today? Because this sounds amazing.
Well, I know it's like the people who saw my recipe, they found it a bit daunting. But again, this is kind of like, if you master this recipe, you can cook any Malaysian dishes after this, okay? But again, I kind of introduced a bit of alternative ingredients. For example, like curry leaf, I replace with bay leaf, for example. But if you can get like authentic, fresh curry leaf, that's even better. So we are cooking Nyonya mee curry, or in English is a Nyonya chicken curry noodle dish.
Oh, that's fantastic. And we'll be learning a little bit more about the Nyonya cuisine later on in the show. Yeah. I'm getting excited. I can see loads of comments coming in. So viewers, tell us who you are, where you're watching. So I think last month, Norman, we had a really global audience. I think we had everyone from Europe.
Yes. From Malaysia, and so this is the whole point, because we try. I think the time was, I think we probably, it's a bit too early to capture the audience from US and all that. But again, they can always something about the show. They can always watch this again, right? The recorded show. So we're gonna leave it a month on YouTube, so they can use the same link, so they can watch it again. Yeah.
Fantastic. And big shout out to hello Trisha, hello Kevin, hello Anita's Feast, coming to you from Portugal. Wow, that's brilliant. I love this international community we have.
Great.
Okay, so shall we get on with the show?
Yeah, well, so first I'm gonna run through the ingredients, right, before I say goodbye, briefly, before I come back. Shall I run through the ingredients? Yeah,
let's do that.
So let's bring the camera, another camera in, which is the kitchen camera. So I just want to make sure, because I know lots of people are cooking along with me today. So these are the ingredients, and here, for example, like I have here the blended, blends all these ingredients. So in here is shallot, ginger, garlic, and lemongrass. Okay, so get into paste like that. So kind of been a bit, I wouldn't say I'm smart, but sharing this good tip. So you can use this jar, and then use the hand stick blender, just blend everything in here. So if you want to keep this, to use it a few days after, and you can always just keep this in the fridge. Yeah. So that's the first one. So we have the coconut milk, the tamarind. So this is tamarind paste. Oil. So I've got the salt. Well, I'm using the Himalayan salts, but you can always just use a normal salt. So the stock, the paste, the chili paste. Okay, these are ground meat spices. So it's like coriander, turmeric, cumin, and also fennel. Yeah, and then all the spices are bay leaf, star anise, and also cinnamon. Okay, so sugar, but again, sugar, I'm just going to use half teaspoon. Like you don't have to use sugar anyway. Yeah, so you can always keep that bit of water to mix it with the ground spices. And all these this is something that I put in the e-travel pack to get all this ready beforehand. Yeah. So we've got the puff tofu. Now I got a question. Well, someone, I think it was Anita who asked me about the puff tofu. So it's actually quite difficult to get this one only in Asian supermarket that sell this. You can always just replace with a bean curd. Yeah. So or tofu, like the white from tofu. That's fine. Okay. We have the fine beans. So it's been blanched, and also the bean sprouts. Again, been blanched for 30 seconds. Noodles are ready. Chicken cut into strips. And all this garnishing. Okay, so have the boiled egg, chili, I'm just gonna slice later, and also lime, and also coriander. Okay, there you go. So, Harry.
Brilliant.
So this is something I wish, Harry, you can join me, but unfortunately you're stuck in the United Kingdom, so I'm here in the Netherlands. Okay.
Yeah,
I've got Sandy here, Sandy behind the scene, so you can enjoy this the noodle dish. Yeah.
Yeah, this is what one unique feature of our show. We are a very international a bunch of hosts, aren't we? I'm in the UK, and Norman, you're in the Netherlands.
Yep, I'm in Delft. This if you imagine like all this a Dutch like a blue and white porcelain, yeah, that's why I'm here. So
beautiful, and lots more comments in the chat box as well.
Yeah.
Anita saying she found the puffy tofu in an Indonesia store.
Brilliant. Yeah. Again, Anita, if you got any leftover, you can always just freeze them. So it's fine. So you can keep that in freezer for months. Okay. So if you see my freezer, there's lots of stuff in there. So it's enough for a way to cook for the next few months. Yeah. Talking about like all the comments, do keep like commenting. We want to get as interactive as we can. Yep. So, and then of course, Harry gonna read out all your comments. She's gonna be busy later. Okay.
And
great.
Just a quick reminder, if you are cooking along later and it's completely optional for you, please post us your pictures on Norman's social media. You can find him on Facebook, Instagram, tag him in, let us know how your cook along is going and your prep. We'd love to see pictures of you watching our show. We
want to see all these like wonderful dishes, like this is gonna be nice, because last time we had our social media was so busy and with all the tagging and everything. So we want that to happen again this time. Yeah, let's do that.
Absolutely. And I think Sandy's put all the tagging, the Instagram and Facebook address at the bottom. So it's scrolling down. Right, Norman, you need to finish your food prep, don't you?
Well, I'm just going to keep staring at them because I've done everything now. Probably just smell it. So I'm going to leave you to it. So yeah.
Brilliant, lovely. We'll see you later. Norman.
See you later.
Okay, so I think it's time to go and discover a little bit more around this famous city of Malacca. It's not a destination that I've been, but actually I'm so interested in learning a little bit more around this city. And so I need some experts to help me with this bit now. So I'd like to welcome Celine and Colin, who are our Malacca tour guides, who are going to be taking us around this beautiful city and telling us about all the wonderful attractions that we can see. So Celine and Colin, are you there? And we'll go live to you. Hello. Hi.
Hi, Harry.
Hello, Harry.
Hi. Good morning. Well, good evening to you, because over in Malaysia, it's what time now?
It's 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Just after 6 in the evening. Fantastic. So Celine and Colin, would you like to briefly introduce yourselves?
Okay. I'll get started first. Hi, I am Celine Hui Chan. So actually, I'm so glad to be on the TravelCookEat Malacca as a travel host. In fact, I've been as a hotel manager for more than 24 years. So lots of my guests, my friends or relatives, whenever they want to come to this UNESCO World Heritage Malacca, they would like call me up and say, hey, where's the place I should visit? Where's the place I should eat? So yeah, but today I'm really honored to have Colin, the really travel expert, travel host Colin, and I'll let him introduce himself, okay?
Brilliant, thank you, Celine.
Hello, and good evening. Good morning to all of you, actually. Well, my name is Colin Goh, and I have been living here in Malacca all my life, practically, and worked here also. I've never left my hometown except for holidays, you know. And well, I am a government retiree, and I have a special interest in my city in the sense of the history that it generated. And I've been doing a lot of reading and learning all about about the city and the history that goes with it. So it has actually kept me quite busy, and it also has given me a lot of pleasure to sort of share what I've learned with the people who come to Malacca specifically uh, for special purposes. For instance, let me just give you one example. I met an English gentleman who was a Queen's Counsel, and he came to Malacca to look for the Anglo-Chinese College, which was started by the London Missionary Society. And he was a descendant of Mr. Madhurst, who came to Malacca in the early 1800s
Wow.
to start a press, to publish tracts and books in Chinese for missionary work.
Wow.
So he was looking for where Madhurst was in Malacca, and I had a friend who was a tour guide, and he came running to me and said, "Gotta help me," you know. I said, "This guy is looking for Mr. Madhurst. I don't know who he is." So I said, "Mr. Madhurst, okay, he's in Munshi Abdullah's Hikayat, actually, story of Munshi Abdullah, who was a scribe to Sir Stamford Raffles, who founded Singapore." So to cut the story short, I had tea with this gentleman and his wife, and we chatted up, and it ended up to drinks after dinner even, and the next day we went to look for the different places that Madhurst would have gone to or been around here in Malacca.
Wow.
So that's just an example.
Amazing little bit of history. So can I just say, viewers at home, Colin has these most wonderful stories, and I could listen to them all day, because it's these stories that bring the city of Malacca alive. So I'm very much looking forward to finding out more. So Celine, could you tell us a little bit more around Malacca itself? So geographically, it's 2 hours south of Kuala Lumpur. So last month we took our viewers to Penang, and this month we're going to Malacca, which is much further down south, isn't it?
Yes, in fact, Malacca is actually between Kuala Lumpur, and if people would have known Singapore, so it's in between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. So it's about 1.5 and 2 hours from Kuala Lumpur. From Singapore, if it's driving, it's about 2.5 to 3 hours. So it's really convenient. Even if you fly in from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, it's really accessible, and we have really awesome weather. It's just like today, it started the the seasons of rain.
God, make us jealous. How hot is it there today?
Today probably it's about I would say 30. Yeah. Now
in the morning.
Now probably about 28, 29 degrees Celsius.
You're very lucky. It's 7 degrees where I'm sitting today, so I'm very jealous of that.
I can imagine.
So I think, shall we have a little look around Malacca? Shall we play the first video? Do you want to briefly talk about what our viewers will see in the first video, Celine?
Yeah. Actually, for this first video, I brought Colin along, and he's really the historian buff, and he got all this hidden history, I call him the hidden gems, that you'll see through, and you actually got to the hub of this or the center of where the history, or where when all the colonial
history,
colonial histories, and the state highs, and also the Malacca River, So it's really interesting, and I'll be hopping on to this trishaw, colorful trishaw.
I've seen these trishaws. They look absolutely amazing, but I think I'd probably end up falling off one of those. So
Originally,
yeah.
it's really plain, but now as it has evolved, it's become quite a little bit colorful.
Grotesque.
and some of them have speakers on them as well, so they play loud music.
Oh, you know that, Harry.
Okay, let's have a look at the first video, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Celine Chu, the travel host for Travel. Hi, Colleen. Where are we heading?
Okay, we are heading to the Merdeka Memorial, the proclamation of Merdeka in 1956, February the 20th. That was the date on which Tunku returned from the negotiations in London for our independence. And he chose to come to Malacca to announce the date of our independence because Malacca was the first place that was colonized in our history.
It's a passageway in the fortress of Melaka. So this is an access for the soldiers to go to the quarters or to go to the upper parts of the fortress to defend the fortress in times of attack. But basically it's an access within the fortress walls actually. So you find passageways like this throughout the fortress or the fortaleza at that time. So this is evidence of how the fortress was actually from the Portuguese period and the Dutch era as well. We are here at the ruins of part of the fortress of Malacca, which was built by the Portuguese and further strengthened by the Dutch. Now this here are the ruins of the Bastion Santiago from the Portuguese period, and the British, when they took hold of Malacca in 1795 to prevent Malacca from falling into the hands of the French, decided that Malacca should be downgraded from a stronghold so that it would not pose a threat to British shipping lanes down the Straits of Malacca from Penang, from the Prince of Wales Island, Penang. And so they devised a plan to destroy the fortress of Malacca, which they carried out in various stages, and ultimately they used gunpowder to bring down the fortress of Malacca. So these are the ruins of the Bastion Santiago here. And this being part of a bastion, the town was developed later by the British, and what we have in front of this bastion here, which was all covered up with dirt and forgotten for a long time. By the way, this bastion was only uncovered with the development of the Padang into the shopping mall, and the shopping mall was supposed to come into this area even, but when they began their works here, these ruins were uncovered, and so they were retained as a heritage site. So being a bastion here, the British actually obtained the land behind the bastion, and they built Bastion House, which was the headquarters of the British giant rubber plantation group known as Dunlop. So this was a Dunlop's property actually.
Oh, that is an old something bridge, right?
Yeah.
So,
Across.
because of the World War II bomb, it was a bomb.
Yeah.
So then that. Ah,
Look at the gable wall built over.
yeah.
How we lost our original rooftop.
Wow. Malacca's got this very European feel to it. And you can see with the Dutch and Portuguese and the British influence through the buildings and the architecture. It just reminds me of being in a European city, but with that Malaysian sort of feel and flavour to it. The buildings are that lovely crimson colour. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about why the buildings are that colour?
Yeah, certainly. Most of the buildings that are in that center were actually built by the Dutch and then further improved by the British. And originally, the Dutch buildings were either white or off gray in color. Specifically, the Stadthouse, which you saw when the trishaw right during the ride. Now, that was a white building actually, and somewhere around 1911, in the British period, they decided to paint the town red. I mean, those buildings within that vicinity, the Christ Church, the post office, and the Stadthouse were painted red. And the reason why it was painted red is very unclear. It wasn't, there is no known reason yet uncovered, you know. So, but my take on it is that knowing the British, they would have probably had excess red paint. And so they painted it red.
I can actually believe that, Colin, because yes, a very believable reason. Excess paint, and what do you do with it? Let's paint the buildings crimson. But they are absolutely beautiful, and the architecture down the canal just reminds me, you know, being where Norman is actually over in the Netherlands. Celine, yes, sorry, Colin.
Well, the houses by the river, actually, that's the back of the houses onto the river in the old days, you know. And with the World Heritage inscription, things have been reversed. So the back today is the front by the river with a walkway. So it doesn't really depict the actual history of those buildings, actually. Yeah, over to Celine then.
So, Celine, we've got part 2 of your tour around Malacca coming up. So we'll watch that in a second. Could you just tell us briefly what part 2 of the video, what our viewers will see in part 2?
Yeah, in fact, in part 2, Colin gonna bring us up to the from the we call it
St. Paul's
to the St. Paul's Hill, and where we will see the statue of the
St. Francis.
St. Francis, okay, and there is a lighthouse there, as well as there is the
ruins of the church.
The ruins of the church.
Yes.
Yeah. So and then from there, Colin will give you tips for your imagination. Oh, where was the previous in those days? You know, where was really the actual sea line, right, Colin?
Wow.
Coastline.
Oh, coastline. Okay.
Because we can't forget Malacca is on the coast, and this was a very important trading post for shipping and trading between India and China. So you get a real sense of that. But back in centuries ago, that would have been such a bustling port with all those trades going on.
Yeah.
I think shall we see the video?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Let's do that.
We are at the summit of St. Paul's Hill, and from this vantage point, we can look out and see the Straits of Malacca in the background there. It's roughly about 1 or more kilometers away from where we are, or where even in the old days the coastline would have been. So if you want to know where the old coastline was, let us look down onto that dustbin over there. All right, beyond that dustbin, actually, slightly beyond that dustbin would have been the coast of Malacca, the coastline of Malacca. To give you an idea, the blue tops, from the blue top onwards, from that point, all that was the sea. You see the blue top roof, then the clay roof over there of the warehouses, and all the housing and commercial areas that you see beyond, the high rise and all that was the Straits of Malacca. All this is reclaimed land. So if you had been a sailor in the old days up here on the hill, and if you were to look down, all that is the expanse of the Straits of Malacca. Blue or green, beautiful waters, and the ships port. And this Dutch gentleman, De Moulin, actually he was a trader. Opper Koopman is trader, a merchant. And not only was he a merchant, he was the harbour master of Malacca. How do we know that he's the harbour master of Malacca? It's because in this tombstone is carved the term for harbour master in a Dutch way of a Malay term, Syahbandar. So here it's stated as Sa-ban-de-ha. So it's actually Syahbandar in Malay. So you see, even as in 1660 they used Dutch, but the term Syahbandar was an accepted term for the harbour master because the term Syahbandar was adopted by the Portuguese also. And then when the Dutch came, they carried on with it. So the Syahbandar carried on right into the East India Company of the British as well. You know, so we had Syahbandars all the while, but ultimately things changed and it became like in English it became the Marine Department, or in Malay it became Jabatan Laut, you know. So the Syahbandar term has been lost actually, unfortunately. But the term itself is glamorous. Harbour Master, Syahbandar. I like that term.
Wow, it's so lovely to go and see the world outside of my own house because we have lockdown in the UK at the moment because of the COVID restriction, and it's just lovely to go and see what life looks like outside of my house. So really beautiful, stunning scenery. Okay, I hope everyone's enjoyed looking and touring around Malacca. Celine and Colin, we're going to say a brief goodbye for now, but we're going to bring you back later on in the show. So thank you very much for all your stories and for showing us around Malacca. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Harry. See you later.
Bye-bye. Okay, so Ruth Hanson on the chat is saying, bringing back some lovely memories. We were approached by a group of students when we were at the top of St. Paul's Hill to help them with part of their tourism degree. Oh, I'm so happy it's bringing back some memories, and it's just bringing back some travel aspirations as well for me as well. So thank you for those comments. Keep them coming in on the YouTube. Just keep connected with us, and love to sort of hear more of your stories and memories as well. Okay, I'm going to hand over back to Norman. Norman, are you there?
Hi. I'm just like ready to grab my iPad. So very quickly, I'm back here. Right, so that was really fascinating to feel like I was back there with listening to Colin and also Celine. And I remember get on that tree show. Was it rickshaw you call it? Yeah. It's quite embarrassing because especially when they play loud music and everything, but you've got to do it for an experience. Okay, so yes. You just have to close your eyes and when people keep waving to you. So yeah.
I think that's our top travel tip. If you go to Malacca, get on a trishaw, get the one that's playing music, and go and enjoy the ride.
pick your favorite music. I don't know. It could be, I don't know, like a loud music, as loud as you can, because they won't see you again in the next few months or maybe a year or so after that. So, why not? Anyway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, Norman, I'm going to hand over to you now because you're going to introduce.
Before you do that, we're going to release a keyword for competition. Okay,
Oh,
so
yes.
we have
competition
a competition
time.
So we had lovely Susie won the competition last month for Penang show. So we're gonna release the word now. So what you need to do, you need to type up this keyword, okay? So which Harry gonna mention it again, or myself gonna be mentioning it all the time. So towards the end, we're gonna pick a winner, and then we're gonna tell you who win the signed copy of my cookbook, Amazing Malaysian. Okay, so Amazing Malaysian, or if you're in Dutch, you can have the Dutch copy, Magis Malaysis. Yeah. So the keyword is famosa. Okay, Famosa. So F for Freddy, A for Apple, M for Mother, O for Oman, S for Sugar, A for Apple. That's the keyword that you need to type in your comment box. Okay. Oh, we just if in case you're wondering like where the comment box is, right? So you need to click on the YouTube icon to bring yourself to a YouTube. That's where you can see all the comment boxes. If you can't see that, okay. So if not, just I mean, I'm sure everyone can see that. Can see all the comments keep coming in. Okay. So yes, Susie's. I just read some of the comments. Anyways, like lots of comments. That's keep them coming. Right. So I'm gonna say goodbye briefly to you. Yeah. So we're gonna bring another guest coming in.
And I will see you later, Norman.
Yep. Okay. See you shortly. Bye. Okay. Great. Now, for the show, we always like a future attraction. Okay. So for this attraction, this is fascinating, and unfortunately, like I didn't get a chance to visit this this museum yet. So we're gonna invite this a lovely guy. Well, I never met her personally. I've met him personally, but I've met him online like many times. So he grew up like himself today, just especially for the show. So he told me that. Okay, so can we bring in Mr. Nathan from the museum? Hello, Mr. Nathan.
Hi.
You look very handsome and smart today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Can you hear my voice here?
Yes, very clear, very good.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Good.
Good.
And very healthy.
Good. So I can see all the comments coming in from England, and Mr. Nathan, perhaps you want to introduce yourself first. So before we play the video.
First of all, I would like to say thanks to the Travel and Eat Chef Norman and their entire teams, and secondly to my museum corporation, Malacca Museum Corporation's director, Mr. Dr. Raunders Nasaruddin Abdurrahman and the officers. Okay, before I go further, I would like to introduce myself. My name is S. Raghunathan, or even can call me Nathan or Hang Nadin. Hang Nadin is a Malay warrior name, you know.
Okay. Hang Nadin,
yeah. Or Nathan, yeah. I work under the Malacca Museum Corporation since 1984. So even until now. And I'm the one of the officer in the Malacca History Museums. There's a start house building, the Red Square. Okay?
Yes.
Just now, Mr. Collins said that building is fully white before earlier. And they changed to the red color in 1911. That's true. Yeah, that's right. I was working there. Yeah. And my role in the museum is as in-house guides or official tourist guides for the museum departments. So Malacca, actually, we have a lot of places to visit. Not only museums, even if children, they can come down, visit Malacca. I welcome all over the world people to welcome to Malacca, Malaysia, Malacca, World Heritage Sites. Okay, to visit Malacca, and also they have a river cruise, they have a view tower, and they have a upside and down house, many others. So Malacca Museum, we have a lot. We have 21 museums. 21, and gallery. Yeah, it's a lot of museums. So all the museum, they have a different concept of the story. But my topics today is about the Sultanate Palace. That one further after I tell you what they have in the palace and how the palace architecture was being, everything I will tell afterwards. So that is all about me.
Yeah, shall we show the viewers what's inside the palace? Yeah, let's play the video now. Yeah, let's do that. Wow. Okay, that is beautiful. Amazing architecture there. And then one thing that the unique about that palace, there's no nails, right? Been used to
Yeah,
construct it.
no name. Yeah,
That's
they're all
amazing.
joining each another. You can see that
Joined
all
to
the
another,
timbers,
yeah.
they join each other. Even the that building was fully wooden buildings. So
Mhm.
they're using all the thick wood to build the buildings. Even the roof also,
Yeah.
especially they brought it from the state of Sarawak.
Right.
The state
Yeah.
of
So
Sarawak. They call it the
this
Belian woods.
the Lian Wood. So this is something
Yeah,
that you did the write up that we have included in our e-travel pack. And just a
yeah,
quick question about so if anyone wants to go and visit the palace, do
yeah.
you have like a guide like can bring the guests around to run through to explain about
Yeah,
the museum? Yeah,
it's no problem. I can be there, guys.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always
Oh,
welcome
sure.
those who came down to
I'm sure.
Malacca. And we have
I'm sure.
I have another
Yeah,
my friend, two of us, two
sure.
more
Yeah,
friends.
yeah,
Also, they can do a guided tour for the
yeah,
Sultanate Palace. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I think
even myself
well,
also can.
that's the thing because because when I edited the video last night and then I kind of picked a kind of it's not kind of a sad song, kind of mellow because I think it's for us it's like a lost culture, isn't it? Because like imagine in the 16th century, Malacca was had
Yeah.
more population than London at one point. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you can see how successful Malacca was. So this is something that they really need to if you go to Malacca especially meet Mr. Nathan. I'm sure you're gonna be famous after this. Like everyone's gonna be looking for you.
Of
Okay,
course, yeah.
so yeah, I mean, yeah, talking about the museums that you, the Malacca, the Persim, the organization have like 21 museums. What kind of museums apart from this one that you have?
Malacca, we have a maritime museums.
Yeah,
Yeah, Malacca History and Ethnography Museums, and
yeah,
a replica of the Sultanate Palace. There's the Sultanate Museums.
Mhm.
We have a submarine museums,
Mm.
and we have this museum. We have a lot of museum in Malacca. I have to read
Yeah,
read the
yeah. No, there's
yeah,
something that they can go
museum,
to.
democratic museums,
Yeah,
and
they can go
governance
to the
museums.
website, right, Mr. Nathan? I mean, to
Yeah,
find out more about these museums, and then
yes,
also I'm sure they can do like what they call it is like hopping from one museum to another because it's just a
yeah.
walking distance, isn't it? Yeah,
All nearby, all near, not far from the one place to
Mm.
one place. It's all
That's
nearby.
true.
So once you
That's
come
true.
to the Red Square, my
Yeah,
building start house. From
yeah,
the inside, you can go up to the ruins of St. Paul Church. When you
yeah,
cross other side there, you find the Gate de Santiago e Formosa. Then opposite
yeah,
E Formosa, there's a replica of the Sultanate Palace. So
yeah.
nearby, and then in front of the Sultanate
Very
Palace,
good.
there's a Member Independence Museum. You just
Mm.
walk around there, you can find out around 20 museums only
Mhm.
in that
So
area.
one more thing, like in that palace just now, so you saw like
Yeah,
there's a sultan or you can call it king, yeah. So set at
king,
the
yeah.
like a throne, yeah. So that's
Mm.
why that's kind of a so you trying to replicate like that's how the traders come and then is that like how
Yeah,
it works like the
yeah,
exhibition
where
what
the
it's all
comment
about, yeah.
see the yes, yeah, right. So,
Good.
okay, if I want to tell the history about the Malacca Sultanate Palace, I have to start it from the Malacca history, the beginning of Malacca, the founder of Malacca, young Hindu
Yeah,
prince
yeah,
Parmesan, and during
yeah.
Sultan Mansur Shah era, the fifth Sultan, Malacca became as a port center. It's boom,
Mm,
become very
yeah.
popular. And during that
Mm,
time, they have a beautiful palace and really in a beautiful wood carving on the top of
mm.
the hills. It was
All
located
right.
on the place where the ruins of St. Paul Church was be, the Governor House,
Okay.
Democratic Museum.
See.
That's the location was be before. It's quite huge
Yeah.
museum. Building a palace was built there. So when
Mm,
Portuguese came down to Malacca in the 1511s, you know what happened?
mm.
They demolished the palace. So we
That's
don't have any memories during the Sultan era that our palace,
yeah.
how it was looked like. So lastly,
Mm,
after the independence, the state government
mm,
decides to build
mm.
one of the replica of the Sultan Palace, the place nearby. So they found this
Yeah.
is a good place because they are related to the hill. So when
Mm,
I brought the tourists walk around the palace, I can highlight them. The real
mm.
palace was be on the top of the hills. So
Yeah.
they will understand. Oh, are you sure? Yeah, that's the place before B. And then now the palace is no more. So we built the replica of Sultanate Palace, and this palace also very unique with the wooden buildings, beautiful architecture, a lot of windows and doors. If we open up all the windows and door, it become like novel. And the year they built is in the year of 1984. They started to build the Sultanate Palace, and completely in the year of 1986. 2 years construction. This a local contractor was built. All local contractor. You see what happened when you see the foot of the palace. They have a square pillar. They have around 82 pillar, and the main column they got 4. So they have 82 and plus 4, they become 86. This follow the year 1986.
Okay.
That's the connection. The palace. And the post in front of the palace, they have 6 posts, is it? That now we have do exhibits, the traders who came down to Malacca. So what material they bring, we have do that. But in the early days, that process are using as when the envoy came down to Malacca, that's the waiting room for them. So they have to wait there. People.
We wouldn't know any stories like this. Of course, I mean, I'm sure you have like a description somewhere in the palace, in the museum, right? So that's why we need someone like you to walk around with us, like when we go visit palace. So that's something that I think everyone's going to be looking forward to if they travel to Malacca after this. Right, Mr. Nathan, is there anything else you want to tell the viewers about the museum before we say goodbye? Well, briefly to you before we get you to join back in afterwards.
Okay. I welcome all the people around the world to welcome Malacca Heritage Site visit. Okay, welcome and visit the Malacca Sultanate Palace. It's a beautiful architecture, and if they need a guide, I can bring them walk around. But it took around 1 hour to 2 hours to visit the complete buildings.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Mr. Nathan. So we're gonna see you towards the end because so if anyone have any questions for Mr. Nathan, do type up the questions because Harry gonna read out all these questions. Okay, Mr. Nathan, I'll see you towards the end of the show. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's very Malaysian way, so you have to do thumbs up like this. Thank you. Thanks. See you later. Right. Like Mr. Nathan says, so you need about 1 hour, 2 hours to go around the museums. But what you can do is you can always have a pit stop, right, by having lunch or even like a snack or something. So to stop at the restaurant. So that's why we're featuring our restaurant for the show, Donald and Lily Restaurant. Now let's bring in Jennifer.
Hi.
Jennifer,
Good
how are
evening.
you?
Fine, thank
Good
you.
evening.
I'm good. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Great. So I mean, well, I've edited the video. I've seen the videos, and it's like I was salivating throughout, like when visiting did the video for your restaurant. So perhaps you want to introduce yourself first, to the viewers.
Yes. First of all, I would like to thank you, everyone from TravelCookEat, for having me today. And then I'm Jennifer here. Second generation to Donna and Lily's restaurant, which is my parents, which started in the 1970s actually. They started in, what is it? They started selling economy noodles in front of their house, the veranda. And noodles then was only like maybe 30 cents to 50 cents per packet.
Wow, that's so cheap.
It was in the 70s. And then in the 80s, my parents started hawkering in the streets instead. So this is how, if you can see, that's the only picture I can find, the tricycle.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So we sold nasi lemak, laksa, and mee siam. Specialties on the tricycle. And then we went back home in the 90s, selling at the back portion of our house instead. It's like a small shack, but it's like a small shack. Everybody goes upstairs to have the food and all. And then in 2012, we shifted to a shop lot where I took over the management around 15 years ago. taking over mom's cooking, mom and dad's cooking and all. So everything, like we say, pau ka liao lah.
Okay.
I'm the biggest coolie in the restaurant.
Wow. So you must be the loved one. Like your parents must be very proud of you. Right. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna play the video, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna talk more about the restaurant after this. Let's play the video.
Thank you.
Donald and Lily's. This is my mom, Lily, and my dad, Donald, is in heaven. Okay? Alright. This is my dad and my mom. They started in 1980. Actually, earlier than that, 1970s, they already have been selling food, hawkering in the streets. Yeah? And these are just old pictures. My mom and my dad, Donald and Lily. Okay? And we also have Anthony Boning having our laksa in the Philippines. Then we cook this on the wok on slow fire for at least 8 hours. They're all separate and it's fragrant. These are the ingredients that we're going to blend. We have galangal, we have candle nuts, garlic, onions, shallots, lemongrass, dried chilies, and belacan shrimp paste. Okay, these are all fresh ingredients that we're going to blend together, and then we're going to cook. We cook in the kitchen for at least 8 hours to get this texture. Okay. This is the laksa that I cook. We use fresh santan, some water, and blanch some noodles.
Hello, how are you? Good. Saya sekarang seorang 68 already. Aunty dulu start ini jual laksa 1970 dia. 69 like that lah tau. Itu yang saya sama husband saya meniaga. There is hawker. Tolak 3 roda. So itu jam kita taklah pakai mesin, kita pakai giling rempah ya. Mau pakai rempah kita pakai giling-giling. Kerang semua kena kopi. Atau jam kita meniaga pun jarak kereta tolak matahari terik. Itu jam kita meniaga main murah.
Masak atau angka
Saya
jual?
masak.
Oh, you
Saya
masak.
Saya suka masak.
Memang you suka masak?
Ya, saya lagi dulu suka masak. Saya dulu pun tak tahu itu rempah macam saya tanya mak saya ajarlah tahu. Kadang-kadang mak saya cakap itu rempah, kita pakai tak otak ayah pakai macam tu lah. Kita pakai agak-agak sajalah. Kita cakap pakai timang, bapa mayat di barang apa-apa. Semua pakai agak-agak sajalah.
Fish cake. It's cucumber, yeah. Sorry, Julian cucumbers. Fish cake. Egg. Fresh sea ham. Not forgetting the daun kesum. And the sambal. The second.
when I first saw the video, my face was like this, my eyes like, okay, if I'm gonna have that, I'm not gonna share with anyone. Okay, so
Are you
that's
sure? That's a
wow.
it's called premium
Yeah.
kuat laksa.
Yeah, it was just like, so how much you charge for a bowl of everything in there? It's like laksa.
That is this premium one is 28 ringgit. We have a simpler version which is 9 ringgit also, without the
Okay.
extra seafood and all lah.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
steam broth.
28 ringgits, about
Yeah.
£5 or €5, just over €5, £5. that's nothing. Okay, so that's what when I had a restaurant before, people always complaining about my food being so expensive compared to the Malaysian prices. Well, anyway, so it's a must for everyone who's watching to go to. I think to go and visit Donna and Lily restaurant. And I think your mom is quite well. She is famous because I saw comment from Anita to say that she met your mom before and also your dad. So
Correct.
yeah.
Yes, she's our friend. She's our friend. Hi, Anita.
Okay. Hello, Anita. Brilliant. So and again, so now, like, because of all the lockdown, so I'm sure you have like a restricted opening hours, right? So and hopefully that things gonna go back to normal. Hopefully, but that's what. So yeah. So now you there like 24/7, fully manage the restaurant.
I've been managing the restaurant 24/7. So if I'm sick, the restaurant will be closed. If I'm not around, the restaurant will be closed. So
Yeah.
I'm there all the time if the restaurant is open.
Yeah, it's amazing how like your mom tells stories about like how she first started and everything, and I'm so glad to see that this is like being taken over by you to manage the restaurant. So I'm sure we're gonna see many more generations after this. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope so.
So this is something that I'm sure like everyone gonna go and visit your restaurant after this. Okay.
Yes,
So
please.
Jennifer, thank you so much anyway for joining and then sharing your stories about the restaurant. Yeah. So and
you
we're
so
going to
much.
bring you back in after this. You can see that all these comments coming just for you and your mom as well. Everyone can't wait now to go to Malacca. Great. So we're going to say goodbye now briefly to you, and then we're going to bring you back in. Yeah?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Good. So, we have one more attraction. Well, I'm going to bring Harry back in. And then I'm going to get ready in my kitchen after that. So we're going to be ready for the cook along, okay? Or you can just watch the cooking demo. Hey!
Hey! Oh, I was just actually drooling over that dish. It looks so amazing. And
Wipe yourself, girl. Wipe yourself.
I think that's why what I love about Malaysian food. Like every mouthful of a dish, you get these different flavors and textures, and the Nyonya cuisine is so special as well, isn't it, Norman? In terms of
now, did you notice that the costume that Celine and also Jennifer were wearing, like that is called kabaya. Okay,
Wow.
That is for beautiful like kabaya costume for Nyonya community, especially for the ladies to wear that. Yeah, so I think that's something that if you go to Malacca, go and get like you're gonna look good in that kabaya. Yeah. So it was always show your curvaceous like a figure. And all that. That's how, so that's something that if you go to Malacca, you have to get yourself a kabaya. Okay.
Well, there you go. So, I think we're going off to look at somewhere to stay now in Malacca.
Yep. So I'm going to say goodbye now. So I'm going to pass it over to you. Okay. So I'll see you shortly. Well,
We'll
to the viewers, because we're
see you in your kitchen shortly.
Yes. Good. See you later.
Bye. Brilliant. So we'll go back to Norman for the cook along or cooking demo shortly. But first of all, I think it's really important. Anywhere you go, you need somewhere really good to stay, and I highly recommend this next feature. So to tell us more about the wonderful, majestic Malacca Hotel, I'm going to invite Alvin Kessler to join me now. Alvin, are you there? Hello, Alvin.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you there? Good?
We're really good here as well. Do you want to introduce yourself, Alvin? Tell our viewers who you are, where you work, and what you do at the hotel.
Oh, sure. Okay, my name is Alvin Kessler. I'm the hotel manager for Majestic Malacca, also known as the Comprado. I'm a local born with a mixed Portuguese heritage. And I've been living in
Fantastic.
Malacca practically all my life also.
So you know everything about Malacca too, haven't you?
Yes.
And so the majestic Malacca. So your hotel manager there. Could you tell us a little bit about the hotel? Where is it located in Malacca, and what's around the hotel?
Okay. So originally, this hotel was a private colonial mansion way back in 1929. It was owned by a tycoon by the name of Leong Long Man, who hailed from Guangzhou, China. After his death, his son sold the mansion to a Chinese guy named Lin Hengfang in 1955, who preserved the building and converted it to the Majestic Hotel, which stayed open until the year 2000.
Wow.
So YTL acquired the building not long after that and began the long rejuvenation project, which resulted in the luxurious 54-room hotel, and we reopened in 2008. And our primary restaurant is now specialized in serving home-style Christian cuisine, or also known as authentic Malacca Portuguese cuisine.
Fantastic. Brilliant. So all the renovations are complete now. So they're all colonial style rooms and
Yeah, all colonial style rooms, and practically looks nice. I think from the video you can be able to see. Yeah.
I think let's show our viewers around the hotel, and we'll have a little chat about the hotel afterwards.
Sure.
Oh, wow. What a lovely, beautiful hotel. The building is stunning.
Yeah, thank you.
So 54 rooms then, Alvin. So a really nice boutique, feel to it. And I think every guest sort of gets treated like an individual.
Yes. In fact, we have 52 rooms plus 2 suites, you see.
Oh,
And
fantastic.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit more around the features of the room? So typically, what can our guests enjoy if they check into the Majestic?
Well, apart from those luxurious rooms that you see, we also have what we call another thing like culinary journey, and also we have some festivals like San Pedro Festival, where it's a fisherman's festival, and also we also do have the historical walks with our very own historian. Yeah, apart from
Fantastic.
those luxurious rooms that you have to stay in. So
Brilliant.
everyone is like a VVIP, you see.
Lovely. So if you want a bit of VIP, go and check into the Majestic. Now, I have a question for you, Alvin. I love spa and I love hotel spas. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Majestic Malacca spa at the hotel? What products and things do you use? What's your most famous treatment?
Okay. For Spa Village, actually, we have like therapies based on local healing traditions on the Babanyonya or the Peranakan culture, a unique combination of Chinese and Malay influences, you see. So it's like we have the Lumi Lumi, we have a few of the different kinds of spa therapies here.
Brilliant. Very much looking forward to visiting one day and treating myself to a spa. And tell us about the bar area. So, I mean, that looks absolutely beautiful. Where some of the pictures around the bar area. I take it there's a really good cocktail menu as well.
Yeah, we have a few of our own local cocktails, and our bar is open practically from 12 afternoon right up to maybe 11 o'clock at night. So,
and is there a recommended or a famous cocktail that our guests should try if they come and visit you?
yeah, actually, there's a few. There's some of them is infused with pandan. It's a gin infused with pandan. You see, it's quite a famous one around here. In fact, we have quite a few specialties.
Brilliant. A pandan infused gin sounds very much up my street. Brilliant. Thank you very much. So I think we will have to say goodbye to you now, Alvin, because I think it's time to go to Norman for his cook along or cooking demo. But Alvin, stay with us because we will bring you back towards the end of the show, because I think we will have lots of questions from our viewers, as I can see in the comments. So we'll say goodbye now. Thank you very much for showing us around the beautiful, majestic Malacca, and we will see you later on.
Yeah, see you.
Fantastic. Okay, Norman, are you there? Because I think it's time for us to cook.
Yep.
Or our viewers to cook, rather.
So it's for me to cook, for everyone to watch, and we have quite a lot of people actually joining me to cook along, because I can see Makassar street food. Okay, so that's Ruth. So Ruth and Roger. So they've been busy on the social media, tagging me already on my Instagram. Great. So I'm gonna crack on with the cooking. Okay, so this time I'm gonna try to be a bit slow, right? Because I have a surprise after this towards the end of a cooking demo, because we have another guest actually that we're gonna bring in. Okay, so I'll see you shortly then. Yeah.
Fantastic. We'll see you soon.
Yeah. Okay. So right. Okay. Welcome everyone. So we're now ready to do this cook along. Okay. So or just watch me cooking and something perhaps you can cook this in future. Right. Let's bring in another camera. So you can see my chopping board. Well, okay, good. So what we're gonna do now, we're just gonna prep some of the ingredients. So let's just get the chilies. So just chili. So with the chili, we're just gonna thinly slice this, and also lime, we're gonna cut into wedges. So I'm gonna share with you the tip about lime. So this lime is a bit old actually. So I'm just gonna roll a bit like this. So just to lose the segment. Yep. So that's gonna give more juice. And then when you cut the lime, right? So you cut the middle first, right? So what you don't want to do is cut from this end to another end, okay? Because I'm going to tell you why after this. And then when you slice it like this, so you're going to see the segments. See that, okay? So then when you squeeze, the juice is going to come out, yeah, easily like this. So you don't have that kind of a white thing that stops the juice from coming out. So that's a tip I want to share about the lime. So I'm going to cut into a few wedges. You only need about 2 wedges anyway. I'm going to put on the plate here with other garnishing green. So I'm just going to cut. I'm going to save another half. And then that's the lime. So we're gonna slice the chili. Again, the chili is just for decoration, for garnishing. Yeah, so you don't have to waste about cutting them all. So you're just gonna get like maybe about 3 or 4 per portion. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do a few more. Yeah, so that's ready. Now I'm gonna put. So this is one like if you want to take photos, if you have time for it, so you can do that. So see how beautiful that is. Yeah, let me just show you the camera. Okay. Next thing, what we're gonna do, get the ground mixed spices. So we have the coriander, fennel, cumin, and also turmeric. So grab a bowl because we're gonna mix this with water. Yeah. So we need about like a 50 ml of water. Did I say 100 ml actually? Okay, so basically we just want to make sure it's all like thoroughly mixed. So I have the water ready here. So give a good mix. Good. Now it's like in my recipe, right? I show how to. Well, I mean, you can use like chili paste. If you don't have chili paste, you can always just replace with ground chili. Yeah, so chili powder. Or if you don't want it too spicy, you can always just put. You can just add in paprika. Okay, ground paprika. That's ready now. Right, let's bring your saucepan. I'm gonna put the camera now. Move the camera here. So I think you can see better. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, I'm just staying here. It's like you can see, like it's not kind of the nicest. I don't have La Crusette saucepan. Maybe one day I'll after I get a sponsorship from them. Okay, so let's put the heat on. Just keep it on medium heat. So we're gonna start with the oil. So once you feel the heat, right, you can feel the heat like this, yeah. And then I'm gonna start with the oil. So 2 tablespoons of oil. And then you can put all the spices straight in, yeah? So we have the cinnamon, star anise, and also bay leaf. Ideally, I would love to use the curry leaf, yeah? But again, cannot get curry leaf easily. But if you have curry leaves, then you can do that. You can always keep the curry leaf in the freezer. So we're gonna cook this until the oil kind of starts sizzling. Well, not the oil starts sizzling, the ingredients, the spices start sizzling. And then we're gonna add in our paste, yeah? So this shallot, garlic, ginger, and also lemongrass. If it's too high, the heat, just turn down a bit, yeah? I can see that, I can feel the heat now. You can see that the ingredients start sizzling and you can hear, smell the beautiful spices, combinations of this. Okay, so now ready for, very important to get that sizzling. So one thing about my cooking, I don't like to use lots of oil, right? So sometimes when you put like coconut milk, the oil can be extracted from coconut milk. So that's another good thing as well. But again, with coconut milk, I've just used like 100 ml. This is enough for 2 people. So let's cook this for a couple of minutes. Let's get the next batch of ingredients. So we have the chili paste, okay? And then we have the ground mixed spices, the one that we mix with water. So enjoy the smell, the fragrance of all these beautiful lemongrass, shallot, garlic, and ginger. Right, now I'm gonna add in the garlic spices to begin with, and then the chili paste as well. So again, if you don't like it too spicy, you can just add less chili paste. But my chili paste here is well, for the Dutch here, they know sambal bajak. This is like Indonesian sambal bajak. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So once you added that in, just let it cook for like a minute or so. Okay. I'm gonna slow down a bit because I just need to make sure that you're all catching up with this. So I'm slowing down my heat a bit now. So I know it's like you can't see oil kind of separating and all that. So don't worry, because like once you add in all other ingredients, once you start cooking with the chicken and all that, you can see the oil afterwards. Okay, especially when you start simmering for a longer time. So put the heat up now. So because the chili paste has already been cooked, right, and it's not like you use the raw like a chili paste, right? So so it's like you don't have to cook for long, yeah. So now I'm ready for the seasoning. Okay, so the seasoning, we have salt and also sugar. Again, with sugar, you don't have to add sugar in. Yeah. So just gonna use. So I know this is Himalayan salt, so it's gonna be quite strong. So I'm gonna put like a 1 teaspoon flat, a bit more, big. Just a bit more, and also half teaspoon of sugar. And I don't like to use MSG in my cooking, that's why I kind of balance out with salt and sugar. And you saw like at Donna and Lily's restaurant, you can see the paste there is very reddish. So again, because there's lots of chilies, that's how Malaysians like it, like spicy. I'm sure like it's not overly spicy because at Donna and Lily, because they put you embedded it in the coconut milk. Yeah. So let's see how everyone's getting on. I tried the rolling trick with the lemon last night. It definitely works, yeah. That's impressive cleaver. Well, this cleaver here, okay, is actually from a celebrity chef. I'm sure you've heard of a Ken Home, right? Famous in the UK, so US. And there's another one called Martin Yen. Okay, so I was doing a cooking demo with him in Malaysia for this rice company, and he gave me this his cleaver, yeah. So this is actually the cleaver I use for my cooking demo for Norman and Friends that I have every Thursday at 2:30 in the afternoon Dutch time. Yeah, so that's something that you can watch, learn to cook from me. He even have like, I don't know whether you can see like his label, see his signature that made. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So yeah, I carry this knife everywhere I go now. So it's a special gift from him. Right, now we're ready for our chicken. So you can make this as seafood if you want to as well, yeah. So again, like you see, like some noodle dish, they always mix like a prawn with chicken. So I'm trying to simplify to make it nice and simple for one. So now we're gonna seal the chicken. Put the heat up again. So this is why you want to add in like a salt or sugar seasoning. Sorry, one more ingredient I forgot to add in actually is tamarind. Yeah, so we can add it now. Simple down a bit. So salt, sugar, and tamarind. Okay, just give a good stir. Just about 1 tablespoon. Now we get good mix. So don't worry that you see that it's gonna be dry there, because there's a juice coming out from chicken afterwards. And again, like a tamarind, if you don't have it, you can always just replace with lime or lemon. Yeah, lemon juice. It's fine. So because you want to get that kind of sourness ingredient to kind of blend in with the chili, to complement. So now I'm just going to cook until chicken kind of a half cooked. This is what we call seal the chicken pieces. Right, let's see how everyone's getting on. Ruth say that it smells amazing already. Good, Ruth. Ruth, quick question. Do you actually, I'm sure you sell laksa because perhaps you want to tell everyone about your, okay, do follow Makassar street food because lovely couple, Ruth and Roger, they've been to Malaysia many times before and then they set up like a street food. Yeah, so it's like you call it street food, yeah. It's not food, is it food truck? If I'm not mistaken, yeah, so they sell lovely street food and then they won an award as well for Malaysian dish. How amazing is that? So we're just going to wait for another couple of more minutes, yeah?
Norman, that smells amazing. I wish I could smell it.
Smell. My whole apartment smell like a smell of this now. Yeah. Well, it's not just smell. I wish you can eat it as well. Well,
yeah, I'm just imagining it. I have a question for you. So underneath your chopping board, there's a yellow cloth. Why do you have that? I'm intrigued.
Well, this is for safety reason, right? Normally, if I don't have this, normally I have this kind of like a mat, like a anti-slip mat. Keep losing it because I always put in my file, chef file. Keep losing it. Forgot to bring it back with me. So this is like to stop chopping board from moving. Don't know whether you can see it. Let me just put it that way. So like this. If you don't have this, you can always just use get the kitchen paper, wet it, and then put on this. So it's like make it your chopping board from slipping. Yeah, wow. Especially when you have like a cleaver like this. Okay, so you don't want that to happen.
See, these are chef's top tips. You wouldn't know this. So if to stop your chopping board from slipping, get a wet paper towel and pop it under your chopping board, and it will stop your chopping board from slipping.
Right. Let's have the big screen, the close-up one. Okay. So now we're gonna add in the coconut milk. Okay. This one actually I kept in the freezer. That's why it's gonna cost a bit. Again, I don't like to waste any of my ingredients, so everything's going into my freezer. I don't use it.
I think that's the nicest thing about cooking like this. You can, freeze pretty much all of those ingredients, as you say, when you have a coconut tin of coconut milk that you haven't used it all up. You can easily freeze these ingredients.
That's very cool. So now we're just gonna cook for a minute, and then we're gonna add in the stock that's going in, and then we're gonna cook. Make sure that the chicken is fully cooked. Okay. So this assembling is like going to take like a few minutes only, like to assemble. Yeah.
And viewers, if you're vegetarian or vegan, you can replace the chicken with vegetables or extra tofu.
Yeah, it's extra tofu. It's like I think everyone knows what puff tofu is. So this is what like a puff tofu looks like. You can just squeeze like that. Okay, you can puff it. Okay. So I'm actually playing with my ingredients. My late mom will be very mad if I do that. Yeah, so you can see that it's nice, kind of nicely coated now. So we're ready for the stock. Okay, there you go.
So have your stock ready, guys, and get that stock in.
So this is about 500 ml. And then you can put on the full heat. Go.
Brilliant.
This is your curry gravy, the sauce for your noodle.
So Norman, will this gravy thicken over as it cooks now?
Yeah, it will be. It will be. Yeah. So now it looks a bit runny, but again, you're gonna have this noodles and also puff tofu. Puff tofu is gonna kind of absorb kind of all this gravy as well. Yeah.
Just picking up a comment, Norman. One of our viewers has asked, when should we add the bean sprouts and beans?
Oh, that's for later. Yeah, okay. So that's why you want to blanch all that ready. because this is another tip that I want to share. If you don't want to have it straight away, right? So, which I'm going to share with you shortly, like at which stage you can stop and then wait until you're ready to eat. Yeah.
And one of our viewers, Bish Bash Bosh, hello, says, "Oh my God, forgot to prep the stock. Panic." Well, the nice thing about this show is that you can actually rewind us a little bit on YouTube and catch us back up. So go and make your stock, Bish Bash Bosh, and rejoin us shortly.
No, what he can do is, if he's using like a cube stock, right? For example, he can just put water and also the cube stock straight away, so he doesn't need to do it separately. Yeah, so get 500 ml of water, and then we together with the stock, with the cube stock.
So Norman, can you tell us a little bit around Nyonya cuisine?
Okay, I should have got like Jennifer just now to explain everything because she's the best person actually. Well, okay, Peranakan, Nyonya Peranakan cuisine is this is kind of I keep describing as a posh cuisine because like you can see how elaborate with lots of ingredients going into their cuisine. So they, the community, kind of like have the money to spend a lot on ingredients and time as well. You can see how much love and also passion going into the cooking. It's not like a quick stir fry and all that. It's all about making the beautiful paste, right? Using all the lemongrass, chilies. That's why I always get fascinated with the Nyonya cuisine. And so if anyone doesn't know what Nyonya Peranakan Baba Nyonya is, kind of it's a cross match. So they kind of this Chinese community, they practice like a Malay kind of a tradition. So that's why they wear this beautiful costume with all the jewelry, nice jewelry and all that. You'll see this community, so the Peranakan Baba Nyonya in Malacca, in Penang, and also in Singapore as well. And they have some in Phuket and also in Indonesia, but not as big as like in Malacca and also Penang. Yeah.
It's just really interesting to see all these steps for the curry dish you're making today. You know, lots of ingredients, lots of flavors, and you know, lots of steps to it. And that's what I think is just so lovely about this cuisine. Every mouthful, you almost get a different flavor of ingredients.
So right, I can see that my the chicken curry gravy is almost ready now. I'm gonna have a bit of a taste. Let's see. Yum, spicy. But again, it's not going to be very spicy once you add in all this like noodles and everything, the puff tofu especially. Right, can see that. Just make sure that the chicken pieces like fully cooked. That's why I cut into strip, because it takes like a few minutes only to cook. Like you can see that, yeah. Can you see the close up? Yeah. See, that's great. So I'm now going to add in the tofu, half tofu. Let's puff them. Puff, going in. Sorry, my mom's not going to be happy with this. Playing with ingredients. So that's going in. And then, wow, you can see that.
Oh, wow.
So that is almost similar to what Jennifer showed us at Donna Lily Restaurant. The thing that is missing is the fish balls, okay? Again, that, I kind of didn't include that because I think it's going to scare everyone. Try to get all other ingredients to go in.
Yeah, the prawns look a little bit scary.
It's massive, it's gigantic. Right, so there you go. So the gravy is ready. I'm gonna keep it on like a low heat, let it simmer. Okay, and okay, this is the point. If you're gonna have it now, then you can serve it. Okay, if not, you can just wait, and then you can always just watch this again how to present it. Yeah, so assemble it. Normally with the noodles, right? So especially like so now it's gonna be cold. What you can do is just run it with some hot water, boiling water, very briefly, just to keep the temperature. But in Malaysia, because it's very warm, so people don't do that. They just put straight into the bowl. Because my concern is if you put straight into this the gravy, it will absorb all the liquid, everything. Okay, so I'm gonna do that now. Let me just bring the camera here, so you can see how I'm gonna present this. Okay, so we're gonna start with the noodle. So I'm not gonna be too greedy. I'm very flexible about the presentation, so I'm just gonna put it like that. And then, so I'm gonna scoop the the sauce. Let me just bring back the camera up here, and then I'm going to move it around a bit. That's it. You can see better.
So viewers at home, just make sure your chicken is cooked.
Yeah, so you can see that it says fully cooked. Gosh, I'm starving now.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So again, this is not too much gravy like I like to, but because of presentation, I make it like very. Okay, now I'm gonna turn off the heat now. So you can just like because the temperature is still hot, so you can put the bean sprout and also the fine beans, the bean blanch. Everything's been cooked, so that's why you need to do that in advance. Okay. Then,
so this is why food prep is so important.
Because we want to see all the photos.
We do.
Yeah.
And you know, if you aren't cooking along right now, you've got the recipe in your travel pack, and you can always watch Norman do this dish again by watching back the show later.
Yep, they can do that. So there you go. So that's the bowls. Just wipe the bowl, make sure nice and clean.
Look at that chefy presentation. I'm really impressed.
Right, let's have do a close up.
Wow.
Okay, so you can have a bit more sauce. I'm gonna put a bit more sauce anyway on the side. So again, you don't have to serve this if you're not gonna eat it straight away because the noodle is gonna absorb it. Or what you can do is you can always just serve it and then just enjoy it. Yeah, keep watching the show. Yeah. Here you go.
That looks so good. So viewers at home, get your pictures in and put them onto Norman's social media. Tag us in. Show us your food pics. We'd love to see your efforts.
Okay, let me just adjust it. Okay, so Harry, I have a surprise for all the viewers. Okay, so I'm going to see shortly. Okay, so I'm going to bring someone else to talk about this exciting event. Okay, so I think you probably have seen this in the travel pack, but I was told to keep it as a secret, but I can't keep any longer the secret. So I'm going to bring in Felicia, or I call her Felice, right, to talk about this event. Hello, Felice.
Norman. How are you?
Good morning. Very good, very good. Right, we're coming towards the end of the show now. Yeah. So how are you doing?
I'm really good. I was just going to say I am so impressed that you actually kept a secret. You know, I know you give some little hints, but
I don't want to be told off. So, but yeah, and then the thing is, like, our viewers probably have seen this. So, I mean, like I explained to in our previous show, the whole idea about this travel cook eat is actually to keep put it as a virtual first, and then when it's we can all travel again, we're gonna make it as a reality, and this is what it's all about. So do you want to tell the viewers what this?
That's right. So that's why I'm here, and thank you for having me on. But I'm here to officially now announce the grand launch of our great culinary escape to Malaysia. So I'm so excited. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the tour today and why your viewers should join us. So my business, Odyssey World, has created a small group tour. We're going to keep it really intimate so guests can really experience and enjoy everything that there is to offer in Malaysia. And the best thing about the whole trip is that it's all going to be completely hosted by our very own Norman Musa. Yay!
Yay! Everyone's going to get sick of me after 10 days spending time with me. Well, no, actually, we did something like this before. I think, and even today, Kath, who joined me in the previous trip in 2014, wasn't it? Yeah, so that long time ago. She messaged me this morning, and then she knew about the show, and then unfortunately she can't watch it, but she will watch it in future. Yeah.
Oh,
so
well, maybe she'd like to come back again and see what's changed. You know.
Yeah.
So, you know, what we hear with our clients with Odyssey World is that so many people are looking now, especially after this hiatus, that they are looking for meaningful travel experiences and something a little bit richer. So that's what we're hoping to create with this. We know that everyone's desperate to travel. You know, we can't hide the fact that it's been too long. And when it's safe and when the world is ready, we want to get back there. So we're really excited to go back to Malaysia and have this, you know, real authentic experience. I think, you know, I can smell the coconut milk coming from my computer, and I can't do the pressure of cooking along with you, so I've bought all the ingredients to do it tonight. But we know that, you know, it's lovely that you bring this into our homes and we can create Malaysian food. There's nothing like going to a country, and especially something in like Malaysia, where the smells and the sights and the tastes and the flavors are all around you, and eating and cooking there, isn't it? It's just so different. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like this is something that I want to bring over the guests. I mean, to go over to Malaysia, experience this as you know, themselves, and because many of them have been there before, but they haven't been to kind of like all this like a non-touristy places. That's something that we want to capture.
They haven't been there with you. So
well, that's another thing. That's a bonus, maybe.
So can I tell you a little bit about the whole tour?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously the best place to start will be Kuala Lumpur. You know, it's the capital city of Malaysia. It's a bustling cocktail of cultures and nationalities and flavors, and a great example of how all these different cultures can come together and really get along. There's tradition, there's modernity, and you'll see that just in the few days that we're there. We'll visit places like Chowkit Market, so you can see how locals source their food. I mean, it's a pretty real experience, isn't it? That'll open your eyes. Very
definitely.
much. And then, you know, from there, a real contrast would be to, you know, to see the Petronas Towers and that twinkling, glittering skyline of modern Malaysia. And then another, you know, photo that just flashed up then, which is so important, is the colonial heritage of Kuala Lumpur and of Malaysia. So we're staying at the gorgeous 5-star Majestic Hotel, and in the historic district. So you'll see all that colonial influence of Kuala Lumpur. And after we can walk around the historic mile, the photo that just flashes up now, again, it doesn't really give it justice, but we'll have an afternoon tea, a traditional afternoon tea in the Orchid Conservatory of the Malaysia. And you haven't smelled anything like this and seen.
I can tell you that I had afternoon tea over there before, and in the orchid room, in that specific room, like, it's just amazing. It's just like surrounded by all the orchids. It's just beautiful experience. It's
really special, isn't it? So I think that's a pretty tasty start to get everyone going. And then after that, after your senses are completely woken up, we're then going to head over to the western shore of Malaysia and to the beautiful island of Pankor Laut.
Yay! Snorkeling. Snorkeling. I love snorkeling. It's not just about snorkeling.
Yeah, there is snorkeling there. Obviously, there's loads of water sports and beach sports, and we're going to obviously let everyone relax and soak up what they've seen in Kuala Lumpur. But we can't let you relax too much because this is a culinary tour. So the fantastic team at YTL and Pankor Laut will take us to a fish farm, so we can see how seafood is sourced locally. And then also this will be your first immersive culinary experience run by Norman, combined with the kitchen team of Pankor Laut. So
it's very hands-on. So this is going to be like give them a bit of a taste before we do the fully one. So I mean, by using the local ingredients, local produce.
Absolutely. And cooking on an island is different again, isn't it? You know, and also in the kitchens in a 5-star resort. So that's a different experience. It's all, you know, just to see how they do that on an island with the local ingredients. So that'll be exciting and beautiful, as you can see, you know, tropical Malaysia. So fully rested, we hope. After that, we'll then head on to the island of Penang. Now, this place is pretty special. I'm sure most of you know that that's where Norman's from. So he literally took his home. And
that's something that's
there's lots to do there, isn't it? I was just going to say, it is a tourist island, so there's lots of tourist things to do, like the Penang, and the streets there on Armenia Street, which is just this funky little shops and street arts and things that you can poke your nose into. So there's a lot to see. But I think what I'm really excited about, my thing, I think, which will be the highlight of this, is that Norman's going to actually take us back to his dad's birthplace. Norman's from there, but literally back to the paddy fields. I mean, that is rural, authentic Penang, a little bit off the tourist trail, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's something that I didn't pass. I mean, I took the guests to the village where my dad was born. So it's actually, the house is like in the middle of a paddy field, right? So that, I mean, get everyone to experience that. But this time I have to warn my cousins first, because last time I just turned up, I noticed they were shocked to see like all these Westerners came to the village. And then, yeah, we had a good time actually. So I introduced them, the guests to my cousins, and then we ended up at Seafood Grill restaurant nearby. So we had this like long table with all this like a freshly grilled seafood and all that. Yeah, it's in the middle of like a paddy field. So how exciting is that? So that's just something that non-touristy places that love to take the guests over to. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's so special to sort of, you know, combine that. And even though you said your cousins were a little surprised, I'm sure they were really
yeah. So even my sister back home, like yeah, she joined with her family as well. Yeah, so that was a beautiful experience.
Oh, that's really good. And of course,
unfortunately, I've lost my parents yes, a long time ago. So otherwise, they would have enjoyed it, because yeah. So my late mom especially, she enjoyed like entertaining. I would imagine she would have cooked not one dish, but few dishes actually, to just like to greet and also to welcome all the guests. Yeah.
We would. I'm sure if your mom had been cooking, we would never have left. It would just be.
No, you probably just move in. She's probably gonna end up looking after all the guests, not me. It's like because she I remember before that she couldn't speak English, and then she always asked me like, "Oh, can you ask your friend whether he's hungry?" I said, "Yeah, but what about me? You never asked me. I came all the way, right? But you forgot about me." So yeah, I mean that's something that I want to show all the guests, like where I grew up, and also all these beautiful villages with the paddy field atmosphere. It's just amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. The scenery will be gorgeous. So, and then, you know, of course, again with more cooking, the other highlight is that Norman will be hosting us on another cooking experience at the Tropical Spice Garden. So this place is quite special too, isn't it? Because we can see where all of the raw spices and the herbs come from. And can we even pick them ourselves? Can we choose?
Yes, that's what I spoke to Kath. She looks after this Tropical Spice Garden. So we practically can go and pick the herbs and also spices from the garden. And we're going back to the kitchen and then cook in the kitchen. So we're going to be cooking about 3 dishes. So basically we're going to spend half a day there, and then the guests have time to wander around, just have their own time, and then just walk around the beautiful garden. Yeah.
And of course, we can eat our creations in the lovely garden.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's so important to know when you've taken the food from the ground, you know, the spices and the herbs and where it all comes from. So
it's going to be very educational, especially to know where the roots like ginger. Well, I'm sure everyone's seen garlic. Sorry. Not ginger, turmeric, and also we have the Dutch ginger as well. That I'm sure you can see the logo there. So that's a Dutch ginger. So or they call it Dutch ginger or ginger flower. Yeah. Yes.
No, I want to see that. Not that everything just comes from a jar, which is all.
No. Yeah.
So,
that's all about the experience.
It's going to be amazing to do that. And then this tour seems to fly through so quickly. But after we leave Penang, after 4 days there, so we can see an awful lot of the island, and that's the paddy fields, isn't it? You know,
paddy field, yeah, it is, yeah.
So after we leave this region, we'll head back. Then it's a quick flight back to Malacca, which you've now learned all about this morning, which is great. That'll be our last stop of the tour. But I think it's quite fitting, because we've learned this morning it really has, you know, the roots in history of so many merging cultures.
Yeah.
So it is pretty. You've heard all about the red paint, which I love, because the British.
Wow, that's going to be a mystery. I think something Colin probably would. We call it like a mystery. Colin have to solve this. I mean, we're going to help him to solve this mystery. So we need to find an answer for it. Okay. But again, I think this is something that we can promise. Like when we travel to Malacca next year, it'll be nice to meet up with all the guests that we have today, sit at the long table. Maybe we meet up at the Donna Lily restaurant. Yeah, so have a long table there and then catching up with everyone. That'll be fantastic, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, those shrimps at Donald and Lily's restaurant that Jennifer showed this morning. Oh, so look, again, you know, as we've talked about this morning, the Nyonya cuisine that carries on in Malacca, the Portuguese influence, which is really interesting as well. So, and we can all ride around on trishaws.
You won't do it. I won't do it. I'll be taking your video pictures anyway. All the other guests will do it. Celine can take everyone else doing it. I think everyone has to have our own trishaw. Like.
That's got to be part of it. But it's a great way to end the tour, I think. It's just sort of come full circle to that, the real historical heart, I think. Of
it is, yeah.
So we're planning this 15 months out. It seems like a long time away, but it'll come really quick.
You forgot to mention where we're going to be staying in Malacca.
Oh, of course, I should have said, of course. But Alvin sold it so beautifully this morning and told us all about the Majestic. So the Majestic Hotel Malacca, you can see how beautiful it is, and there'll be time to visit that lovely spa and
that's gonna be an amazing experience.
Oh, it will, and that's the key. We'll have luxury hotels all the way through this trip. This is going to be world-class, beautiful accommodation, but as well as incorporating all of that lovely, authentic side of Malaysia too, the roots and the heritage. So I think there's a really good contrast, and that's what, again, as I mentioned, that's what we hear from our clients, that this has been a terrible time, with travel, and we all feel quite heartbroken that we haven't been able to share the world. So we want to go back and travel better and travel more responsibly and authentically. And I really think that's what we can deliver. There's nothing more authentic than going to Malaysia with a Malaysian chef and just cooking and eating all week.
Yeah, cooking, eating, and then learning, for meeting up with Colin, I'm sure with Nathan, and then so Celine and Jennifer as well. It will be a nice experience. So that's something to look forward to. It's in September next year. Yeah, so we've got plenty of time.
September next year. And we say it's plenty of time, but as there are limited spaces, we know this will sell out really, really quickly. So
this is go on.
Sorry, and I was just going to say, obviously, in the travel pack, there is a little bit more information about it. So please have a look back at Norman's travel pack. And 15 months out, we obviously expect the world to be healing by then. And we would love you guys to join us on this tour, especially people who are commenting along this morning and cooking these dishes. If they can come and learn all of this in Malaysia, that would be amazing. Everyone is going to be desperate for their next big adventure. And I think so. So just quickly, I'm just going to say we are offering this trip with an early bird price right now, and we can reserve your spots for just £200. So even though this is far in advance, if you want one of those limited spots, please give us a call. The numbers are up on the screen now, I think. So that's our number at Odyssey World, or our email. Call us, email us this weekend, and we can ask any of your questions.
Yeah, that's something that I told you before, Fliss, that I want to make it like a small group, because I want it to be intimate, and then just a small group, and then I can interact with everyone, and then everyone's having a good time. So that's the thing.
That's the key. So book your spots now. There's not many left, and it gives us something we so need to all look forward to. So I can't wait, Norman. Are you excited?
Good. So they can find out more about the e-travel in the e-travel pack about this. And of course, if they have any questions, they can ask you. Anytime.
I'll be here for them all. Thank you.
Great. Good. Okay, so we're coming towards the end. So I'm going to bring back Harry. Right. So we just got a bit over time, but I'm sure I think everyone should be okay. So Harry's going to help up to read all the questions. Hello, Harry.
Hi. Sorry, I was actually emailing you, Fliss, to reserve my space. Brilliant. I can't wait to go. And it's a day before my birthday next year, so I might just do it as my birthday treat. Brilliant. So we've welcome back to our wonderful co-host today, Celine, Colin, Alvin, Mr. Nathan, and Jennifer. And thank you for bearing with us. So we are literally at the end of our show now, and I think it's time to take some questions from our viewers. So if you have any questions for our wonderful guests today that have joined us on today's show, please put them into the comments box. If you want to find out more about the hotel, if you want to find out more about the top attractions, if you want to find out a little bit more about the palace, and if you want to find out about Donald and Lily's restaurant, please put your comments in the box. They will be happy to take your comments further. And of course, if you have any questions for Fliss for the up and coming tour, again, you can ask them there as well. Great. I'm going to start off actually. So I have a question for Celine and Colin. So Celine, we mentioned that Malacca is a couple of hours from Kuala Lumpur. So for anyone that's considering Malaysia as a holiday in the next year or whenever we can travel again, how many days should they maybe spend in Malacca as part of their holiday itinerary?
For Malacca, the minimum you're gonna stay is at least for 2 nights. Yeah, I think Dr. Norman, Chef Norman would have known, with the amount of videos that produced to him, he only edited to 7 minutes, and there are more to
I know. There's a lot more. Yeah. So it's like I've listened to all the stories by Colin. Well, Celine said that the minimum is 2 nights, or you can always just move in to Malacca. Okay, so
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Celine and Colin will look after you. No worries. And then Jennifer gonna feed you. Okay, so Mr. Nathan gonna. Well, I'm not so sure about you staying at the hotel because it's not gonna be cheap. Okay, but Alvin can do a special rate there. Can you, Alvin? Yes.
Yeah, Alvin, could you do our viewers a special rate, please?
Why not?
Brilliant. So if you are making Malacca as part of your Malaysian travels, do put that in your itinerary. It's a really fantastic destination. So we also have another question from Jack Roberts. Hi, Jack. If you had one dish to eat from Malacca, what would it be? So I think we'll go to Jennifer for this question. Jennifer, if you had one dish to eat from Malacca, what would it be?
Must for Malacca dish. So you must try Malacca Nyonya Laksa because it's different from Penang. Penang has Assam Laksa and other states have other different Laksa. But to Malacca, you have to try the Malacca Nyonya Laksa. Yeah, so come to our place to try. All right.
There you go, Jack. When you do visit Malacca, go and see Donald and Lily, and Jennifer will welcome you personally, and you will have to try one of the Laksa dishes.
Yes, please do.
Thank you, Jennifer. And one of our viewers has asked about the night market. So I think we'll go back to Celine and Colin for that one. So Celine and Colin, can you tell us about the night market walks?
Yeah, the night market is actually at Jonker Street. Actually, it normally happens over the weekend. Actually, from Friday night to right through onto Sunday. Actually, it's a street market actually, where they have lots of stuff to buy, to eat as well. It's pretty crowded. There's always huge crowds. Used to be huge crowds, but now with the pandemic on, it's not been on for about a year, so we do not know how many stalls will be taken up again when it opens up. So we'll have to wait and see whether it'll go back to the norm.
But the SOP, it's really strictly, you really have to scan the QR code. In Malaysia, we call it My Sejahtera before you got in. And then, people nowadays, when they visited that night market, we call it the Jonker Walk, with face mask and, SOP,
Thank you very much. So what time does a night market really get going? What time should our viewers get there?
As early as 6 in the evening,
Okay.
Yeah. So you really at sunset, dawn until night. So then you can experience the street lighted up, and especially when it's during the Chinese New Year time. But if it's September, there's not. But if it's during Chinese New Year time, you can see big lantern, red lantern, decorative along the Jonker Street.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I'm going to go to Mr. Nathan. Mr. Nathan, one of our viewers is asking, what is the most beautiful view in Malacca, in your opinion?
A beautiful building or what? You mean
what's the most beautiful view for you in Malacca? Where's the most beautiful place in Malacca for you?
Okay, actually, a lot of museums are beautiful to look, but from the architecture, it's replica of Sultanate Palace, And another one is the Barrington Museum, because that's the model of the Flor de Lama ship. That's one of the Portuguese warship, Flor de Lama. That two museum follow the architecture. It looks so beautiful. For the history is my building, my house, history museum. And we have a submarine museum also. Submarine museum.
Oh,
That one is that's the original submarine was displayed there. And the visitor can come down to Malacca and they can go inside the submarine and visit the museum there. That one also quite nice. It's really interesting, and I have a good income from that museums. And
oh,
if
brilliant.
wouldn't, that two museum.
Brilliant. Thank you, Mr. Nathan. So
Yeah, you're welcome, yeah.
those museums are beautiful works of art themselves. So do go and check those out. Thank you. And Felice, I'm going to come to you. I've got a travel question here. Flights and from the UK or different European destinations for the tour, can that be arranged?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. The price in the travel pack is based on economy flights from London, but of course the tour is in Malaysia. So as a tour operator, Odyssey World can get you there from anywhere. So anywhere across Europe or the US, we can certainly arrange your flights for you, or you can arrange your own and meet us there, and we'll arrange and tailor make the tour accordingly. And just if you want to stay in Malaysia longer or go to Langkawi or Borneo or any of those amazing places in the country, we can arrange that too.
Fantastic. So do get in touch with Felice for all your tour needs. Thank you. And Alvin, I have a question about the hotel for you. In your opinion, which is your favorite room, and which room has the most amazing view?
In fact, you look at it, the whole hotel has a beautiful view of Kampung Morton, which is just opposite our hotel. And the most beautiful view will be the suite, obviously. It's located at the 10th floor.
Lovely. So can I have the suite when I visit next year then?
Sure, why not?
Lovely. Thank you. You all heard that, viewers. Thank you so much, Alvin. So thank you very much for all our guests for joining us. Norman, are you still there? We might need your sound, Norman.
So
I love this live interactive.
Great. So so we are towards the end of the show, but don't go yet because we have two announcements to make. So the first one is the winner of the cookbook, the signed cookbook, and also we have another, well, not surprise, but I think you probably for the next show actually that we're gonna announce. Okay, so but now we're gonna say goodbye to all our lovely co-hosts. Right, thank you very much for your time, for joining us, and I'm sure after this, if you want to get in touch with any of our hosts, go to the e-travel pack. Okay, so there's a website, details, and everything that you can get in touch with. Okay, so so get them busy with all the questions and all that before they all kind of see you next year. I hope so. Yeah, good.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks, Mr. Nathan. Thanks, Colin and Celine. Please, Alvin, and also Jennifer. Okay, thank you very much for your time. Wow.
Wow, what a show.
Yeah. So, right, we're going to spend another couple of minutes or so before we say goodbye ourselves, right? So first, we're going to announce the winner. Okay, so the winner for the signed cookbook, the Amazing Malaysian, I don't know where this person lives. Okay, so the winner is Jack Roberts.
Woo!
Okay. So Jack, congratulations for winning a signed cookbook. So what you need to do is you need to email Sandy at normalmusa.com with all your details. Okay, so we're gonna get that book delivered to you. Okay, so right.
Congratulations, Jack.
Congratulations, Jack. And now another exciting that we're gonna share with you is our next show, right? So we are going to, let's say it together, Kuala Lumpur. We're going to Kuala Lumpur, but it's not going to be next month. It's going to be in May. Okay, so the ticket is now available on the Eventbrite now. So if you go to Eventbrite, you can check. I think so Sandy can. You can always just go to my website, check on the Eventbrite page, Malaysian Food Rocks. You can always just follow the Eventbrite page. Yeah. So again, it's the same price, and then we're gonna invite like some exciting personalities, co-hosts to join us as well. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do.
So looking forward to this. So KL is I've never done KL. I missed this when I went to Malaysia last time.
Did you?
I did. I didn't get time to fit it in, and this just shows you how diverse the country is, because the cuisines are just so different everywhere you go. But I'm looking forward to seeing the Twin Towers. I'm looking forward to seeing the sights, the sounds, and all the wonderful street markets. It's going to be amazing, and I'm just looking forward to meeting wonderful people of KL when we do the show on the 29th of May. So get it into your diaries, everyone. 29th of May, get booking. Also, you can also buy a ticket as a gift for your friends as well. What better way of connecting with everyone whilst we're in lockdown at the moment? So, buy yourself a ticket, buy a gift for a friend. It's £5 plus a very small booking fee. So get booking and join us on 29th of May.
We got 40 seconds left. We're going to say goodbye now. And thanks to all the parties, and thanks to Malaysian Food in United Kingdom, a close Facebook group for their collaboration with us. Okay, so it's going to be lots more exciting events that we can organize in future. And don't forget to watch me cooking every Thursday at 2:30 Dutch time. So 1:30 for you there, Harry. Okay, so
1:30
say goodbye now. Okay, say goodbye.
Bye,
Harry,
everyone.
is anything? Yeah. So,
but just to say thank you to our wonderful viewers for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Get your pictures in onto Norman's social media.
5 seconds. Right. Okay. So let's tag all the social medias, everything. Okay. So we see you in KL. Okay, in May.
Bye.